I invite Pastor Claude O. Skelton-Klein to give the invocation.
Good afternoon. May we pray. God of freedom and liberation, God of the heavenlies, who has made us in your imago Dei, in your image, we bend the knees of our hearts and minds in humble adoration. We have come here today at this chaotic moment as we feel the shifting sands of time beneath our feet. And so for a heightened sense of discernment and vigilance, help us to stand our ground and not to fail, not here, not now. It is you, O God, who through the struggle have sojourned with our foreparents, to which we have been handed a rich history and a noble heritage. Grateful we remain even as we beckon that your abiding presence would be our constant companion for justice and mercy, righteousness and peace. God of omniscience, we have been with you long enough to know that we cannot come before you and pretend there is no complexity. Multi-layered, multi-voice, conflicted and complex. And no amount of silencing will ever nullify that reality. And so in this hour, we specifically bring to you the relationship of partnership between these Virgin Islands and the United Kingdom. And we lay this on your altar, not for you to solve supernaturally, but to arouse in us the wisdom and the will and the way for which it must be resolved for the blessedness of your people. Difficult though it may be, hopeful we remain that there can be a reset. For Premier Andrew A. Foy, for Governor Designee Mr. John J. Rankin, for Deputy Governor David Archer Jr., and all the members of this honorable House and the people of this place we call home, may your Holy Spirit's wisdom prevail and cause your richest benediction to rest upon them. In the name of our elder brother, Jesus the Christ, we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing.
this territory, may we ask three things of thee. Courage for our great leaders, that they may rule our destiny. We ask for wisdom for our people, that we may live in harmony, and understanding for all children, so they may cherish this legacy. Oh, how radiant are your daughters, and how wealthy are your sons. Your beaches boast your beauty, and your success is second to none. Green and brilliant are your hillsides, they replenish our hopes and pride. Oh, beautiful virgin islands, your qualities can never be denied. Oh, beautiful virgin islands, your qualities can never be denied.
Please be seated as I invite the Cabinet Secretary to establish protocol.
Your Excellency, the Acting Governor, Mr. David D. Archer, Jr., and Dr. Flax Archer, Governor Designate, Mr. John Rankin, CMG, the Honorable Premier and Minister of Finance, Mr. Andrew A. Foy, and Mrs. Sheila Forbes Foy, Her Ladyship, the Honorable Madame Justice Vicky Ann Ellis, Speaker of the House of the Assembly, the Honorable Julian Willock, Deputy Premier and Minister for Education, Culture, Youth Affairs, Fisheries and Agriculture, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley and Mrs. Wheatley, Minister for Transportation, Works, Utilities, Honorable Kai Reimer and Mrs. Reimer, Minister for Natural Resources, Labor and Immigration, Honorable Vincent Wheatley and Mrs. Wheatley, Minister for Health, Social and Social Development, Honorable Carvin Malone and Mrs. Malone, Attorney General, Honorable Dawn Smith, His Lordship, the Honorable Mr. Justice Paul Webster, QC, Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Marlon Penn and Mrs. Penn, Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honorable Neville Smith and Mrs. Smith, Junior Minister for Tourism, Honorable Shari De Castro, Junior Minister for Trade and Economic Development, Honorable Shireen Flax Charles, Representative for the 3rd District, Honorable Julian Fraser, Representative for the 4th District, Honorable Mark Vanterpool and Mrs. Vanterpool, Representative for the 6th District, Honorable Alvaro Maduro Keynes and Mr. Keynes, Representative for the 2nd District, Honorable Melvin Turnbull and Mrs. Turnbull, Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Mrs. Rosalie Adams, OBE, and Mr. Adams, former members of the House of Assembly and their spouses, members of the clergy, Acting Financial Secretary, Mr. Jeremiah Frett, permanent secretaries, heads of department, other public officers, invited guests, including members of the Virgin Islands Youth Parliament, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen listening on various media platforms, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Julian Willock, the Speaker of the House of Assembly. I thank the Cabinet Secretary for so ably establishing protocol. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen. However, I must still acknowledge the Premier, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, and our First Lady, Mrs. Sheila Forbes Foy, the Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Madeline A. Penn, and your wife, Mrs. Joy Penn, along with all other spouses here, all members of the Fourth House of Assembly. I'm happy to see every member of the Fourth House of Assembly in attendance today. Former legislators, I recognize the former Premier of the Territory and his wife, Mrs. Lorna Smith, and all those who were kind enough to accept our invitation to this event, including members of the Virgin Islands Youth Parliament. This afternoon, we're here to welcome and swear in the Governor Designee, Mr. John J. Rankin, as the 14th appointed Governor of the Virgin Islands. This afternoon, we're here to welcome him as you, Mr. Rankin, comes here at an interesting time for the Virgin Islands history, a time when relationships between governors who represent the United Kingdom has been tested, particularly within the last 4 to 6 years. You came at a time when there are discussions, debates, blogs, articles, and coffee talk, and in some districts they call that rum shop melee, about the future of the territory and a path forward. Governor Designee, you come at a time when some believe we no longer need to fly the Union Jack, while others believe in long may she reign over us. But today, it is my duty to welcome you to the territory as Governor Designee, soon to be governor. And I do so, not with a clenched fist, but with open arms to welcome you to our home with our special hospitality, our culture, and our beautiful weather, which I might add is much better than Bermuda. You will find a people that are resilient, hardworking, honest, and independent, and this must never be taken for granted. Today, with your swearing in, it should mark a turning point for improved relations between governors and the government of today, between governors and the House of Assembly, and between governors and the people of the Virgin Islands. We expect you, Governor Designee, to play your role in improving the relationship where there has been mistrust. Today, we will celebrate a renewed commitment to the rule of law, due process, and good governance, not only in theory, but in practice. Today, we must pledge on working towards a future where we can become a more perfect, equitable society, one where the rule of law applies to speakers, governors, premiers, justices, commissioner of police, and the common man and woman in the same way. I know that your legal background will make this easy for you. As Speaker of the House of Assembly, it has always been my understanding that the issues of assenting to a bill passed by Parliament is a mere formality, as it has been for over 100 years in the United Kingdom, as well as other parliamentary democracies. Notwithstanding Section 79(2) of the Constitution, and in that case, you would have raised those matters within Cabinet where a bill must be agreed to first before it reaches the legislature. But this afternoon, our arms are wide open to welcome you with much humility, understanding, and a renewed effort to have a partnership based on mutual respect and understanding, along with professionalism. In this partnership, you must also appreciate the awakening of a people who wish to chart their own destiny, an awakening of a people who wish to be free. And I'm encouraged that there's an understanding of the concept of letting freedom reign. We're happy to have you here today, and whatever I can do from the legislative branch to make your tenure here successful and productive, please feel free to call on me. When I was asked to plan this ceremony, I enjoyed the unwavering support of both the Premier, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, and the Acting Governor, David D. Archer, Jr. They both check with me almost daily to ensure that your welcome here today will be one that fits our values and our professional standards. This, to me, speaks highly of their commitment to working with you and building on our partnership, given that these are the two gentlemen with whom you will be working with most frequently. I want to close by, again, Governor Designee, welcoming you to the territory, welcoming you to the Save the Seed Center, and welcoming you to our home. With that said, I invite the Acting Governor, His Excellency David D. Archer, to read the Royal Commission.
All stand. With the protocol established, I will now read the Royal Commission of Appointment. From Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth II, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of her realms and territories, Queen, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith. The message is to our trusty and well-beloved John James Rankin, companion of our most distinguished order of St. Michael and St. George. Here is a greeting. We do, by this our commission, under our sign, manual, and signet, appoint you, the said John James Rankin, to be our governor and commander-in-chief in and over the Virgin Islands, during our pleasure, with all the powers, rights, privileges, and advantages to the said office belonging or appertaining. And we do direct that you appoint, and your appointment shall take effect from the time of the departure of your predecessor as our governor in the Virgin Islands. And we do hereby command all and singular our officers and loving subjects in the Virgin Islands, and all others whom it may concern, to take notice hereof and to give their ready obedience accordingly. And we do hereby direct that this, our commission, shall determine upon signification that the effect being given on this day by us through one of our principal secretaries of state, given at our court of St. James this 14th day of January 2021 in the 69th year of our reign. This message is by Her Majesty's command. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Royal Commission appointing John James Rankin, CMG, to be your governor and commander-in-chief of the Virgin Islands. Thank you.
Please remain standing as I invite the Madam Justice and the Governor Designee to advance to the podium.
I, John James Rankin, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God. Thank you. I, John James Rankin, do swear that I will well and truly serve Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and the people of the Virgin Islands in the office of Governor of the Virgin Islands. So help me God. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Justice. Thank you.
Please be seated as I invite all government ministers, Premier, Deputy Premier, Minister Reimer, Minister Whitley, and Minister Malone, to witness the signature of the official oath of allegiance. Starting first with the Premier, then the Deputy Premier. These two. You gotta sign. You gotta sign me. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, we have the 14th Governor of the Virgin Islands in His Excellency, John J. Rankin. At this time, I invite the Leader of the Opposition and member for the 8th District, the Honorable Malon A. Penn, to bring you remarks.
Accepting the protocol already established, a pleasant good afternoon to all. As leader of Her Majesty's loyal opposition, a humble representative of the 8th Electoral District, I, on behalf of the people of the Virgin Islands, express a sincere welcome to our newly sworn-in Governor, His Excellency John Rankin. The passing of the torch from an outgoing governor to an incoming governor designate is symbolic of the continuity of the crown within its dependencies. With the arrival of every new governor, the people of the Virgin Islands begin a new chapter in their history. As you step into the role, I think it's important to share with you who we are as a people. Our love for country runs deep. We strive to love our neighbors as ourselves. We value honesty and integrity, and we are a resilient people. That's the Virgin Islands I hope you come to know and love during your time here. The role of the governor is one of great significance to us as a democratic territory. You not only represent the crown, but your responsibility to provide oversight and protection as well as ensuring the continuance of good governance in keeping with the Constitution is paramount and should be met with the utmost respect, transparency, and sincerity, knowing that every decision you make will have an indelible impact on the lives of the people of the Virgin Islands, as well as a permanent imprint on our history. It is my hope that my fellow elected members will reciprocate the respect and honesty we expect from the office of the governor. As we embark on this new chapter, elected members and Governor Rankin, let us remember the people of the Virgin Islands are looking with great expectancy, that the work done on their behalf will serve only to uplift and make these Virgin Islands a better place for us now, as well as for generations to come. For us to do anything less will be a great disservice. It would be remiss of me not to make mention of the newly launched Commission of Inquiry by outgoing Governor Jaspert, as well as the challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. I make mention of these not to cast a shadow over this auspicious occasion, but to highlight what is sure to be the primary focus of the country over the next several months. To be appointed to the office of governor at this time in our history can be daunting. However, let us not be deterred from continuing the people's work. Our shared responsibility to ensure good governance and the continued safety of these Virgin Islands should persevere above all. Moving forward, it is important that the people of these Virgin Islands can trust our words and actions to provide a calm assurance in this season. Therefore, Governor Rankin, on behalf of Her Majesty's loyal opposition and the people of the Virgin Islands, I warmly welcome you as we work collectively to conduct the business of the people. The task ahead might be great. However, much can and will be accomplished. As you settle into your new home, hope that you will find some time from your busy schedule to get to know the people of the Virgin Islands. Enjoy what nature's little secret has to offer. I welcome you, sir.
You're allowed to clap. It's not an official sitting of the House. So feel free to show your appreciation to the speakers. The territory, like all other developed countries, has a poet laureate. At this time, I invite Dr. Richard W. Georges, the Virgin Islands Poet Laureate, to offer a poem.
I recognize the established protocol. Good afternoon. I would like to express sincere thanks and appreciation to the Speaker and the Deputy Governor for inviting me to render a poem on this occasion. This poem is entitled Constellations, after Gerard Manley Hopkins. Glory be to God for these dappled things. The sun litters the channel with diamonds of light below the wing of the frigate that slices the mirrored sky into rings. And part of us then, our salt Adam and Eve, a blood sea binary spirit beneath these skies that mirror everything, that see little galaxies in our eyes, the stars our upstretched hands are reaching for. Floodwaters recede, banana keats sing their spring songs still. Their quick, fickle lives remind us why it takes centuries to soar. All things counter, original, spare, strange. The very air betrays the tightening chest. Whatever that comes, whatever it takes, you don't have to believe the world rotates to make it true, that the heart in my chest is yours, and know that this will never change. The seabird's wing is slick with seawater. Our tongues are thick with a forest of words. The stoic island will bid us return to its shores, where every grassy quarter in earshot of the cold Atlantic's roars. From Atlantean Anegada, turn a finger of sand to the drowned island, to the lush straining necks of the mountains. An ancient voice raised up, a forgotten Aboriginal tongue reminds us all of our custodial duties. We are sand, not rock, that when our bodies dissolve to feed the fertile flowers of our graves, that we can say good day to that bright star above us, our chests full of gratitude, to rise like a wind or a feathered thing, like Icarus, with an air full of heaven. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Georges, and let me also join in congratulating you in your another hat as the 7th president of the H.L. Stout Community College. He is the premier, he's the minister of finance, he's the leader of government business, he's the representative of the 1st District. Please stand and help me to welcome the premier of the Virgin Islands, Honorable Andrew A. Foy.
I'm humbled. Please sit. I'd like to say good day and God's blessings to everyone. especially to our incoming governor, Governor Rankin. On behalf of the people of the Virgin Islands and the government of the Virgin Islands, I say welcome to the most beautiful place in the world. A place where you'll find that there are 60 islands and islets, and a place where everyone, as they used to say in the show Cheers, everyone knows your name. I want to say that this is a beautiful time that you have come to the Virgin Islands, unlike what some may say. It is a time that's biblical and positive. It's in the time where there's a storm, but the British Virgin Islands really is in the center of the storm, where God has put us in a camp. And really and truly, Governor John, as I look at it, you would agree that it's biblical. Because after all, your name is John, and my name is Andrew. For the name John, as I research, is a name originating from the Hebrew name or in its longer for meaning in terms of Yahweh has been gracious. And meaning Yahweh has been good. And we also see the word Andrew meaning manly and conscious, brave, strong, courageous, and warrior. But in a good way. I'm a firm believer that names mean something. And in an era when things seem like a storm, it's good to know that there will be a John and an Andrew on board. A John and Andrew, I do not call it a reset. I call it that we continue our journey when the time and life has placed John and Andrew in a time for a time such as now. To ensure that we move our country to the next level of the BVI in a partnership built on mutual respect and a partnership built on trust. I know that it is going to happen because that is what John and Andrew did in the Bible. And what was is, and what is was, and what was will be again. So you have the uttermost support from my government, even with a commission of inquiry. We welcome a transparent commission of inquiry because we are 100% certain that when it is completed in the transparent way through the processes, that the British Virgin Islands will be able to move from its teenager years into its adulthood. We are confident that you have come in a time when this will propel us into a new paradigm, and a positive one, might I add. We're confident that you have come to work with us in a time when our legislative agenda is as ambitious as it is, despite being delayed with 10 months of COVID, is now going to be unfolding greater than ever. In a time when we will set institutions in place to ensure good governance, not because we've been forced to, not because we are being forced to, and not because we are told, but because it is mandatory for this territory to reach the next level, to show that it can police itself. In a time when we're going to be working together, Governor, to ensure integrity in public life. In a time when we'll be working together to ensure the Contractor General legislation comes to the House, where we can make sure that contracts are done fairly, and if any concerns, it can be dealt with at an earlier stage. In a time where the whistleblower legislation, which has already reached the cabinet for discussion, will come forward. In a time when the new procurement legislation is coming forward. In a time when we are going to bring forward more initiatives to help with green energy, to help with our climate, and to help with our environment. I see this as an exciting time for John and Andrew. And I pledge my full support. And I pledge this territory's full support to make sure that we forge ties of great respect, built on what is in our DNA as Virgin Islanders, which is BVI love. BVI love is who we are, a caring people, of no-nonsense people, a people that believes in working hard for what we want, a people that will not allow anyone to pull us in their storm, but for us to pull them in our camp. And it matters not in life how you start, it matters how you finish. Because that is what the faith that dominates our territory, the Christian faith, teaches us. And you would know that this is a faith-based territory that firmly believes in God. And while we know that there will be challenges, there will always be challenges, but this territory is also built on the faith that no matter what challenges come our way, we always prevail with the help of God. So this territory said, bring on armor. We prevailed with God's help. It said, bring on Maria. We prevail with God's help. It said, bring on COVID. We prevail with God's help. And it said, bring on the Commissioner of Inquiry, and we will prevail with God's help. It said, bring the floods, and we prevail with God's help. It said, bring economic downturn to the world 2008 to now, and we prevail with God's help. Because the foundation of this territory is God, Abba, our Father, on which I believe. And I know in this time when we're going to walk on an environment with green energy, and we're going to work on good governance, we're going to walk with a renewed sense of purpose, with a strong partnership, that when it's said and done, the conclusion written by the history of these Virgin Islands is going to state very clearly that in the era of John and Andrew, the same ending that was written in the Bible will be written here, which will be a positive one for the Virgin Islands. So my dear friend John, Andrew says welcome. And may God bless you in your reign. You can depend on our support. And as we say, may God forever bless you and your endeavor. And may God bless our professional relationship and beyond, and all the members of the House of Assembly. And may we enter this new paradigm with a mindset that is aligned with God's will, not only for the territory, but for our lives. Thank you.
I thank the Honorable Premier for his remarks. At this time, I welcome the new Governor of the Virgin Islands, His Excellency John J. Rankin, to deliver his address. Welcome him with a round of applause.
Can we all stand?
Honourable Premier and Mrs Forbes-Foy, Madam Justice Ellis, Honourable Speaker of the House of Assembly, Honourable Deputy Premier, Honourable Ministers, Attorney General, Deputy Governor, Justices of the Court of Appeal, Judges of the High Court, Honourable Leader of the Opposition and Mrs Penn, Deputy Speaker and other Honourable Members of the House of Assembly, Members of the Clergy, Chair of the Police Service Commission, Acting Financial Secretary, Permanent Secretaries and Heads of Department, other public officers, Members of the Youth Parliament, and distinguished guests. Good afternoon. First, thank you, Honourable Premier and Honourable Leader of the Loyal Opposition, for your kind words of welcome. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the outgoing Governor, His Excellency Augustus Jaspert, for his service in office, and Deputy Governor David Archer for his support to my predecessor and for his service as Acting Governor. I'm most grateful for the warm wishes I've already received from many people here in BVI. It is a privilege and honour to have been appointed as Governor of the Virgin Islands and as Her Majesty's representative. I will faithfully carry out my duties under the Constitution, working in partnership with the Government of the Virgin Islands, to serve the people. As you will be aware, I have spent the past 2 weeks in quarantine. So although I have been present, looking out over Road Harbour, I have not so far been able to get to know these islands and communities as much as I would have wished. Until last December, I had the honour of serving as governor of a fellow overseas territory, namely Bermuda, and so have some experience of the role of governor. But I am keenly aware that no two territories are the same, and so for my next few weeks and beyond, I will be in listening mode, learning and understanding as much as possible about the people, history, and unique culture of the Virgin Islands. I firmly believe that to serve a people, one must know the people. I first visited these islands after the devastation caused by Hurricane Irma in 2017. And that experience taught me of the great strength, compassion, and integrity which the people of these islands possess. Returning 3 years later and seeing how far things have come, I can tell that determination and resilience are also strong traits in these islands. I look forward to drawing more on these strengths during my tenure as governor and will do my best to help this territory keep moving forwards. I am also looking forward to working in lockstep with the government of the Virgin Islands. We face plenty of challenges ahead, including recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, supporting our financial services and tourist industries, ensuring the security of the islands, and upholding good governance. But working in partnership will be key to success. This friendship must be based on honesty, trust, and mutual respect, values which I will keep in front of my mind. I would also take this opportunity to underline the friendship and partnership that exists between the United Kingdom and the Virgin Islands. In recent years, support following the 2017 hurricanes and the testing kits, personal protection equipment and other medical supplies in response to the COVID-19 outbreak have been provided because of the special bond between our two countries. And in the period ahead, I hope to see continued United Kingdom funding for environmental projects, the maritime sector, and the island's security. And I greatly look forward to welcoming the imminent arrival of COVID-19 vaccines from the United Kingdom, so that as many people as wish to in BVI can receive the vaccine and be protected from the virus. I will nurture this bond between the United Kingdom and the Virgin Islands so that it can continue to flourish and deliver benefits to the people for as long as the people of BVI desire. I am here without my family. My 3 grown-up children remain in the United Kingdom, where one of them is working on the front line of the National Health Service tackling COVID-19. But I hope they, my 3 children, will all be able to visit in due course and see for themselves the beauty of these islands. And I look forward to meeting these islands' young people. They are the future of BVI. They are our future, and thus deserving of all our help and support. In terms of my key priorities, there are 3 areas on which I will focus from day one. I am, as has been mentioned, a lawyer by background, and I firmly believe in the importance of the rule of law. Under Section 60 of the Constitution, this is an area for which my office is responsible, and I believe something integral to a prosperous society. I look forward to working with the justice and law enforcement agencies to ensure they are continuing to strive to be expert, impartial, and trusted by the people. Secondly, I look forward to leading the public service alongside the Deputy Governor. Public services the world over are often unsung heroes. Here in BVI, the public service has played a tremendous role in every major success and challenge faced by the Territory, and we must continue to prioritise its training, well-being and effectiveness. I will do my utmost to support public officers and uphold the independence and expertise of our public service, our statutory bodies and the independent institutions for which I am responsible. Finally, and most importantly, I will support the good governance of this Territory. When there is good governance, there is prosperity, equality and success. I fully support the Independent Commission of Inquiry called by my predecessor, and I hope that the people of BVI feel empowered to engage in the Commission so that it delivers for the people. I see it as a vital opportunity for these islands to carve a clear path towards good governance and greater self-determination. I am under no illusion of the struggles the Virgin Islands have overcome in recent years. I know there have been many difficult times and families have faced great mental and financial hardship. At the same time, I know that these islands have a great deal to be proud of. These islands are a world-beating tourist destination, home to internationally renowned financial services and one of the safest places in the region. The people have overcome devastating hurricanes with confidence and conviction, and communities here are a melting pot of diversity and openness. The population has so far thankfully been spared some of the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic, thanks in a large part to the actions of the community. And I hope the people of BVI are holding their heads up high for these accomplishments, and that there will be many more such accomplishments to come. I look forward to supporting all those in the community who are working for a better BVI, including those in the volunteering sector, our faith organisations, those in the business sector, and all our medical and health services during my tenure here. I would conclude by looking to the future. A future when the pandemic is over, when the tourism industry and economic recovery more broadly is on track, and when the people of these islands return to a feeling of security. New opportunities are emerging for a more united world. With the United States rejoining the Paris Agreement and the World Health Organization, and the United Kingdom hosting a global climate change conference this year, there is scope for real global progress, and I want to ensure BVI is part of that forward movement, making a global impact. I am confident by working in partnership, we can achieve this future and help make an even better BVI for the next generation. My goal as Governor is a humble one: to support the continual achievement and advancement of the people for the benefit of the people. Thank you for your attention, and may God bless the Virgin Islands and all who live here.
Please stand while I escort His Excellency outside, which will be the conclusion of today's ceremony.